topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from top local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to experts in family law, association law, hearing loss, business brokers, home care, along with many other topics. Now here are your hosts, Steve-O and Sophia.
Hey, good morning, Florida. Welcome to another Ask the Expert show where we bring you the finest experts in the field of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. This show, which is our second show of the month, is probably one of my favorite shows. They have been with us back from when we were doing radio in Tampa. And to show you how this show has grown, it went from 30 minutes a month. Now we do two 30-minute shows a month. And not only do we just cover the Tampa area, but we carry all of Florida. This show, this expert, and he probably hates me for calling him an expert, but it's so important when it comes to trust, when it comes to somebody handling your money. And I got to tell you, Provise Management Group, I have never trusted anybody so much. And the great part about it is Ray Ferrara always gives us the best information. People love this show. Good morning, Ray.
Good morning, Steve, and a very hot but pleasant Monday morning.
Of course. So it's funny because it's almost like Ray and I have this, this back and forth. I look at the letters we get, and then Ray and I will talk about what we're going to talk about on the show. And it's amazing. We got so many emails, people saying, ask Ray about the child program that is going to be in this new bill. Before I do that though, Ray, tell people you have developed over the years one of the most incredible money management companies, Provise Management Group. Tell people about your company.
Steve, Provise Management Group is a financial planning firm first and foremost, and we see investment management, asset protection, retirement planning, estate planning, education planning, budgeting, managing your liabilities, all of those things is a subset of a financial plan. We have 12 certified financial planners that serve our approximately 1,100 clients scattered over more than 30 states. And we're managing today something right around $2 billion of assets under management. We'll actually next month, we'll be celebrating our 39th birthday and looking forward to our 40th in August 2026. Anybody who wants to visit with us, we always offer a complimentary 1-hour consultation in our Clearwater or Tampa office, or if preferred, we'll do it by Zoom, which everybody is starting to be comfortable with. So if you have an interest in learning more about us and sharing with us directly about yourself, simply give us a call at 727-441-9022. That's 727-441-9022. And just let them know that you'd like to set up a complimentary 1-hour consultation, and we'll be happy to visit with you.
You know, Ray, I don't know if I've ever shared this with you, but I always go back and look at the numbers, and I was surprised how many people go back to listen to your show. after it's done. I can go back 1 week later and there's 25 new visitors that went and listened to your show. I think that just shows people really love your show. But hey, listen, let's get started. I've got so many questions for you. And one of the biggest questions that we got this week is about this new program that every child gets $1,000 at birth.
Well, this is a new program, and it's affectionately, although not officially named, it is affectionately named the Trump account. This is where every child born beginning this year, so even those that were born earlier this year, as I understand it, will all have an account opened by the government, and they will deposit $1,000 into this account. And it will be invested into some type of an index, probably something like the S&P 500. And I don't know, there'll be multiple choices. All the details around it have not yet been fleshed out. But they'll put $1,000 into it. Anybody else can add money to the account if they would like to. The maximum, however, that can be added, total added, is $5,000. And the account is there
a year or total?
No, that's a total. That's okay. A total. So it's a modest amount. Yes. The money must stay there until the child's 18th birthday. If taken out prior to that time, it becomes taxable. If taken out after that time and then used for a variety of different things, going to school, for a college or a trade, perhaps for the purchase of a first home, etc., then the money will come out of the account and be done on a tax favorable basis. A lot of people are wondering which is better, using this or a 529 plan. And the answer is, in our opinion, you're better if you have a limited resources, you're better to invest the money into a 529 education plan as opposed to the Trump account. First of all, you can put more in than $5,000. That's kind of number one. Number two, the money grows tax deferred. It comes out tax free when you do take the money out. And although the Trump account does grow tax deferred, it becomes taxable when the money comes out. And so we think if you should use a 529 plan first, and then if you're in a fortunate position of still having excess money to save, then I'd put the additional money into the Trump account. So it's good that at least $1,000 is going to go in. It's hard to speculate what it would be worth at 18, but we talk about the rule of 72. If the money were to grow at 7.2%, it would double every 10 years. So by the time the child is 20, the money would then be worth about $4,000. So again, it's a little something for everybody, but it's not overwhelmingly big at this point. We may see some changes to it at some time in the future.
Well, we've just gotten 6 texts in, people wanting to know where they can go for more information, how to get this plan started.
So I wish I could answer that question for them. As I mentioned earlier, the details have not been worked out as to exactly how it's going to happen. I'm sure that the government will put up some web page for people to be able to access to see the accounts for the children, to add the additional money, but none of that is available at this point. But clearly when it is, we're going to let everybody know.
Beautiful. Ray, what is the new level for the child tax credit?
The level was increased by about 10%. It's now $2,200 as opposed to $2,000. You may recall back during the campaign, then Senator Vance wanted to have that tax credit to be at $5,000. And then there was a more modest $2,500 number that was proposed. But at the end of the day, with all of the compromising, it became $2,200, and that will be adjusted for inflation every year. A good boon for those that are trying to raise a family and to work at the same time. So it's a step in the right direction to relieve some of the financial burden of the responsibilities at home while one is trying to do those at work.
And, what about, I guess, estate taxes? How are those going to be handled?
Well, now this is a very interesting situation. This year, the amount that can be passed from one generation to another per person without incurring any estate tax is $13.99. Let's just round it off and call it $14 million. And that number has grown ever since 2017, when the the original 2017 tax bill passed in December of that year. And that was going to sunset at the end of this year and revert back to about half of the current amount. So it would have gone back to just about $7 million, which would have brought a lot more people back into the estate tax situation. The House and the Senate, again, did some compromising. And what has happened now is, beginning with 2026, it will jump to $15 million, which is higher than probably it would have been as the old number would have been adjusted for inflation. So a little bit bigger jump. And the amount will continue to be inflated each year. So that's $30 million for a couple that could be passed. So for those whose estates are over the $30 million, it's kind of a non-event, because things are going to continue as they were. And with all of the sophisticated tools that are available in trusts and family partnerships, et cetera, to try to reduce that burden. For those that are under the $30 million limit as a couple, or $15 million as an individual, this is a time to re-examine your estate plan. And by that we mean, what things had you put in place in anticipation maybe that the law was going to go back, or that you haven't updated since the law was changed in 2017. One of the things that we're getting more and more questions on are around life insurance trusts, people who bought life insurance in a trust to help pay for estate taxes. Do I keep, I'm not going to have to pay estate taxes anymore. Do I keep the life insurance and there's just that much more money? Do I forego it and give it up? What are the options that I have with regards to that? So there's a lot for people to begin looking at. And for those that are under $30 million, we're trying to emphasize right now with all of our clients managing capital gains. With what the stock market has done over the last 5 years or so, there are a lot of capital gains in people's portfolios. And how do you manage that on a tax efficient basis? And that's much more important in our mind for those that are under 30 million than to be worrying about estate taxes. We will be issuing a report later this week on the One Big Beautiful Act. And anyone who would like to get a copy of it, all they have to do is give us a call at 727-441-9022, 441-9022, and that's area code 727. And we'll be happy to send the report out as soon as it's available. Just need your email address and we'll send it off to you.
Right. You see this, how will this affect the 2026 and 2028 elections?
Oh boy, let's get our cracked, foggy crystal ball out.
Yeah, but yours is good though. Yours is a lot clearer than most.
Thank you. So, Steve, I think everybody is anticipating that the Democrats will try to sell the One Big Beautiful Bill Act as a giveaway to the rich at the
Right.
expense of the middle class and those that are the most economically challenged in our country. They're going to talk about all the quote giveaways that were in the bill. First of all, let's be clear. There were no giveaways. It maintained the status quo of the last 8 years. Clearly, those that have a significant amount of income benefited under this bill more than those that do not have lots of money. But there were things in this bill that were also aimed at the average individual. First of all, the no tips, which we'll talk about later, the no tax on overtime, which again, we may talk about later. There's the $6,000 added deduction for seniors. There's additional opportunity for seniors over 65 to add to their deduction. So when you add it up, it was a very broad-based bill helping a number of different people across the country. But that's going to be an issue. The Democrats are going to posit it as a giveaway to the rich and appeal to people who may not feel that they got as much out of it as others did, in hopes that they would then be able to turn one, if not both, of the houses of Congress in the 26th election. My feeling is that by 2028, the bill will still be an issue in the presidential contest, but it won't have the same fire under it that it will in 2026. One, because the law is really not going to change between now and 2028, and it'll be 3 years into the bill. There'll still be conversation about it, but not nearly what there'll be in 2026. And let's keep in mind that in 2028, there will be no incumbent. President Trump is in the second of his constitutionally mandated two-year sets of terms. And so you're going to have a wall of Democrats coming out, a wall of Republicans coming out, wanting to vie to be president of the United States. And at least during the primaries, it's going to really be about me being the best for you. And it's really not going to be around policy as much as it should be, which you'll finally get into as we get into the campaign itself. So it's a big deal in the 2026 elections. We would anticipate that, given the narrow margin in the House, that it will turn over and the Republicans will lose control of the House. But I think the Senate will continue to stay Republican. And even if it turns over, it won't be enough to override any veto from the president. So any legislation that they do in that situation won't go into law.
Hey, Ray, for some reason, we're getting a lot of questions. I'll just take one of them. They want to know, are you putting your clients into Bitcoin? And two, can you explain it? Because I am so lost on what Bitcoin is.
Well, first of all, are we putting our clients into Bitcoin? That's an easy question to answer. The answer is no. Okay. In spite of its phenomenal success in terms of its price, Bitcoin is still like art, worth only what it is in the eye of the beholder. There's no way to value its true worth. It's a highly volatile asset, both up and down. Clearly, those that invested in it early on and have held on have seen phenomenal gains. Don't dispute any of that. But at the end of the day, we can't justify putting money into Bitcoin in any significant way because there's no way to value what it's really worth. And so that part of the answer is easy. In the easiest terms in which I can try to explain Bitcoin is that it is a, I hate to call it an investment, but let's just use that because I can't think of a better word. It's a mathematical equation that out of thin air created coins that can be traded, and it's all mathematical. There's a limited number of them, and not all of them have been issued, and people continue to mine for more of the Bitcoins that are available, but there are a limited number that are out there. And it's a way for people to exchange money on a fairly easy basis by moving it from my electronic account to your electronic account. And not only to do it here in the United States, but be able to do that easily on a worldwide basis. So it is not the only coin that is out there. Ethereum is another very popular one. There are others that are probably going to be coming out in various forms as tokens for this type of money. And if one wants to invest what I call Las Vegas money into Bitcoin, I'm fine with that. But just be prepared to have a pretty rocky ride and to maybe lose a lot of money. Although Bitcoin today is up in the $120,000 range, which is almost its all-time high. It has been an extremely volatile investment, and the first time that there's a scandal in it, it's going to be a serious problem. With the Genius Act that was just passed by Congress, which really favored the cryptocurrency world, we expect that it's going to expand in its use and its abilities, but it is not something as a value investor as we are. It's not the kind of investment that we want in people's retirement portfolios because it's just too volatile.
Ray, tell people how they can get hold of you.
Steve, we have offices in Clearwater and Tampa, Florida, and we also visit with people on a regular basis via Zoom or Teams video conferencing. And the way to reach us is to simply give us a call at 727-441-9022. That's 727-441-9022. And don't forget that we offer a 1-hour complimentary consultation. And if you simply want to get our special report on the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, give us a call and let us have your email address, and we will send it out to you along with the rest of the roughly 3,500 people that are on our mailing list.
Ray, thank you so much. Ray will be back with us twice again next month. Ray, have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for being part of the Ask the Expert show.
Thank you, Steve. Have a great week and the rest of the month.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.